The AV situation is absolutely insane, or as many might call it, the anime Vanguards Civil War, which took place around a day, I think, after update 7.0, which was already plenty controversial. I'm going to be going a bit over them and like the controversies of update 7 and what happened in general chat on this fateful day. Basically, to start, update 7.0 was really poorly received. I don't think it's a stretch to say it was one of the most poorly received updates. I don't mean it was bad, it was just really poorly received. Like, holy shit, people didn't like it. And I mean, not only that, most people didn't like it or didn't like certain aspects of it, but the player count went plunging. And this could be because of many reasons, the complaints about the update itself, the complaints about the game in general, or maybe just competition like ASTDX or ALS. But let's be real, I think ASTDX is the actual competition for like every anime tower defense game right now. They are just simply on a roll. They're doing really good, and I'm pretty sure they will update this week too, like tomorrow, if Fruity holds true to his word. Anyway, this isn't about STDX, it's about everything going on around Anime Vanguards. And while I do think some criticism is a bit deserved about the update, I think some people are over exaggerating. For example, the models. I've seen quite a bit of people, especially on the AV Discord, talking about how the models absolutely suck, and I'm pretty sure and I hope they are referring to the Titan Shifters human models, like Reiner, maybe Armin, I think, Zeke, and I mean, to me Eren looks pretty fine, and the other units, but the first ones I listed, those I think look quite a bit odd, because the Titan models themselves and the rumbling were absolutely peak, like genuinely amazing. And I think they just spent a bit too much time on them and kind of had to rush some of the human models in certain aspects, because I think their clothes are pretty fine, but just something with their faces, and also their skin tones being different from their like muscles. Yeah, I'm looking at you, Zik. I'm looking at you. And yeah, but I don't think this is going to be an actual problem in the long run. I think they're going to get things straight, because they won't have to work on like stuff like Titan models in future updates. They'll have it more chill, just doing the unit themselves and focusing on a single thing when doing that unit's model. Another problem is, well, the waiting times between updates, which that's again completely valid. Waiting almost a month for an update, it's not it. And while I'm pretty sure they're working on it, because update 6.5 came like 2 weeks after update 6, this update still came like update 7.0 still released like almost a month, like 3 weeks and a bit after 6.5. But hopefully they'll be able to slowly get it back on track, because one thing they did do way better with the past 2 updates is the fact that they released them on Friday, which is actually amazing in my opinion. Like, all credits to you, Anime Vanguards. Please keep doing it from now on, and hopefully we'll maybe even get to see like bi-weekly updates, or 0.5 updates being every 2 weeks, and every 3 weeks we can get a full update. Because when that was a thing, I think with update 3 and 3.5 and maybe update 4, I'm not sure, but like there was a time when we actually got, I'm pretty sure update 3.5 we got it like only with 2 weeks of wait, and so we did with 6.5 and a 0.0 update with like 3 weeks. Anyways, just great times overall. Yeah, and well, other complaints, just are pretty much with the game overall. The fact that just people, well, either feel it's slow, or just, well, I mean, it does feel much slower than other games, even if stages don't take that long, but that's another thing, or they just feel like the, I'm just talking about what some people I saw some people complain about. They're also saying that, like, passives and stuff like that, it's getting a bit too complicated, the classic calling a unit trash on the first day of release because you didn't read the passives, reading comprehension anyways. So yeah, it's really mixed because this is my opinion now. I personally think that the fact that AV has passives and unique mechanics to units is what like separates it from other enemy tower defense games, because they could just simply put a damage number and maybe some unique mechanics here and there, but they do a bunch of things for even like they do creative stuff for even less hype units, so yeah, I personally hope they don't let that thing go. Like, I just think that maybe some units could be a bit simpler, if that would also help the consistency of updates, how fast they release. But I don't think they should completely discard that, because it's quite part of AV's essence itself. Another complaint people had is about the fact that you pretty much have to use like multiple or like every AOT unit to make an actual good team with AOT units, which is kind of funny. And I mean, I can see both points, the fact that it's annoying and the fact that the devs want to just make it a bit more interesting and creative. I personally do think it can get quite annoying, and I just hope they don't do it for like every unit. Like, genuinely, I think a great design for an enemy tower defense is being able to use many units from many different updates, because just maybe you don't like every unit from a certain anime, you just want to use like your favorite units from the past 3 updates or something like that. Anyways, I hope they'll figure that out too, a great balance to it. And yeah, pretty much the actual civil war, as some people might call it, originated because Paisef made an announcement in sub-announcements about, well, addressing some of the complaints people had about the game itself, the update, whatever. And then Paisef went ahead and like talked on general chat for like 40 minutes, responded to people and criticism and stuff like that. And personally, I think that's a great thing, talking with the community. I just think there could be a better execution to it. And now I'm going to segue a bit into a part where I'm trying to suggest this. Maybe I'll suggest it on the Anime Vanguards Discord itself, because maybe that can reach some devs' eyes if this doesn't, which it probably won't. But I personally would go about the update stages, the Q&A things. I'd go about picking actually somebody competent representing the voice of the community, picking a person. I don't know how you would pick it. Just pick a competent person that would just pick questions, even if it's a content creator, or like just someone really active in the community, and they would just, or even multiple people, like a few people, and give them their each time frames to talk about and discuss with the devs. Anyways, so they'd like get questions and really popular stuff the community likes or dislikes or wants to get added, and they'd like get arguments to why that should be a thing, so they can have like a casual talk like with the devs, about, yeah, maybe the devs are like, yeah, that's why we won't add it, and the person representing the community is like, this reason isn't quite that good, and I'll tell you why and whatever, and this is why this should get added. Because I think sometimes a lot of stuff gets taken off the table way too fast with Anime Vanguards. Like, the same it was with PT, and yet here we are, we've got a PT and nobody's complaining about it. People actually were really grateful for the devs adding PT, and I think there could be potentially a lot of mechanics that might be like the same in the future. especially if something like this gets implemented into the stages, like the Q&A after every update and whatever. I just think that having a chat like that with good arguments, you know, like backing up everybody's points, you know, would be a great thing, a healthy thing, you know. And I'm not talking about straight up having debates, you know, just casual conversation and everybody being nice and all that. And just this way, maybe the community's voice could be heard even more clear, you know, even clearer, because I think that the community's ideas do get to the devs, but they kind of like they get there, but they're like kind of messed up, because yeah, somebody says it in a way, but they don't quite give the best arguments, and they just say it, and then the devs will completely like discard the idea, and people won't ever bring it up because it was already declined and stuff like that. Yeah, so this is pretty much my suggestion to how they could improve like communication and stuff like that with the community. And even if it's not something like this, I'm sure I hope they will figure something out and will do something about it. So anyways, thank you for watching and have a nice day.